This is Dr. Bill inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Professor Drew and Professor Bishop. Let's get right into it. Nobody dropped out of the poll this week, but there are some changes, including changes at the top, Charles and AD. Receiving votes continue to be Talladega Marching Tornadoes, Kentucky State Mighty Marching Thoroughbreds, and the Fayetteville State Marching Rocco Express. With that being said, number 7, Benedict Marching Tiger Band of Distinction, still just 1-0. They continue to fall. They fall from 6th last week. They're in the 7th spot. They're in trouble and danger of falling out. At number 6, you have Albany State Golden Rounds Marching Show Band, or as Mike would say, Albany, 2-0, both in terms of overall and in the conference. They're 124 points, and they move up a spot this week. At number 5, you have Virginia State Trojan Explosion, 2-1 overall in the season, 1-0 in the conference, and they fall as they have not been in action in a couple of weeks. At number 4, Clark Atlanta Mighty Marching Panther Bands had a big victory this past weekend as they entertained Central State. 2-0 overall, 1-0 in the conference race. They move up a spot after the victory. At number 3, Winston-Salem State Red Sea of Sound, 3-1 overall. They got a big victory themselves. They are climbing up the polls, 3-0, but they stay and remain at 3 this weekend. At number 2, Langston Marching Pride, they fall after no contest this week, 3-0, 2-0, 3 first place votes, 162 points. They move from number 1. The new number 1 this week is Miles Purple Marching Machine, 4-1, 3-0, 5 first place votes, 164 points. Previous ranked 2, they have 5 big-time matchups. They've traveled. They've been on the road. They've gotten some help with getting home games, but they have been in action, and they have been successful when they take the field. Marching into the stadium with the 0 quarter as long as the 5th quarter, they're getting it done. With that being said, AD Drew, what are your thoughts in terms of the top 7 in the HBCU mid-major marching sports in week number 8?
So not only does no one want to play the Benedict football team because of how they slaughter everybody, no one wants to march against Benedict either, it looks like, because they've only had one matchup all season, Dr. Cavil. And that's a very powerful band over there that they've got in Columbia, South Carolina.
I like the point that you're making.
All right. Refresh my memory, Dr. Cavil. Who did Miles lose to? Do you remember?
Benedict, I think it was Ben. No, Benedict didn't come. It was earlier, maybe in
Alabama State.
Alabama State.
Yep, Alabama State when they went over there early in the year.
So the only loss is to an FCS band. Okay,
that's correct.
Okay, we'll leave that for where it is, but I have received word that Miles will not be traveling to Albany State this weekend, so we will not have a matchup right there. Look, Miles is getting ready for the Marching Crimson Pipers. They sit at home getting their show ready for the Marching Crimson Pipers. Speaking of the Crimson Pipers, come on down, Clark Atlanta. Come on down and get some of this. We go. You look. We know we fired them first, but we want the band to feel the pain of you all firing our beloved coach.
Coach I know Slater. That's right.
You didn't fire Coach Slater. We just got the contract. But y'all fired our guy, so y'all come on out here and let us stomp all over you.
Yeah, he wanted to give him the double one.
Yeah, because that shed will put you to shame. Watching Panthers. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, great analysis, and I feel you as you push forward. As I go to you, Charles, what are your thoughts on the top 7?
Looking at the Red Sea of Sound climbing on up the charts there, but I got tickled at AD. Want to get retribution for Coach Slater. Bring the band in.
Hey man, I like that.
We need a double butt.
That's the kind of band head that I like. General sports fan. Hey man, you get it any way you live.
That's true. But I said this last week. I said over the next few weeks, the eyes will be on those teams that have those good football teams. The eyes will be on Miles, Virginia State, Virginia Union, Fayetteville State, and Benedict. So want to see some battles coming up over the next couple of weeks, or you better have some real strong performances in the stands and on the field.
Speaking of championship, ESPN released their rankings, courtesy of HBCU Game Day, Stephen Gaither, and the Fighting Gaithers on the band side. And he's been giving us this update, say they were coming. Well, look what happened. He was correct. Winston-Salem State climbed to the #1 spot in ESPN Band of the Year. Winston-Salem made a huge jump in the Division II NIA ESPN Band of the Year rankings. See the new top 10. When you talk about their top 7, and you can go to HBCU Game Day to get the full top 10, I'll start it at 7 so you can kind of get an idea of what, how it compares, I should say, with Dr. Cavill's mid-major poll ranking. At number 7, you have Langston. Previously, remember, when the first release came out, they were #1 at the top, so they fall pretty far. At number 6, Tuskegee, AD Drew. Should get some love. That means they're in fighting distance of the top 4. At number 5, Savannah State. I have them outside of my top 10. At number 4, Clark Atlanta. I do have them in the top 7.
Same spot.
I can see that. Yep, same spot. At number 3, Albany State. I have them in my top 7. I like that. Number 2, curious about this, Morehouse is in number 2. I do not have them in the top 10. And number 1 in terms of that. And this is auxiliary. So I like the fact that they did analysis of the different spots. They have auxiliary. They do drum majors, musicality, as well as percussions, and picture/drill design is the overall framework in terms of what that looks like.